This is Stephen again, and I wanted to talk about Bloom Energy some more today, specifically with regards to scandium, which is a critical element of their fuel cells, and the supply chain for that. Because if our thesis is that Bloom Energy is going to, become a 3x, 5x, 10x company, they're going to have to be able to ramp up their scandium, acquisition in order to do that. So let's talk about what scandium is. Scandium is a rare earth metal that looks like a silver white powder, and this is an additive to the solid ceramic electrolyte. So from what I understand, the Bloom box fuel cell historically was using technology without scandium, and this required the chemistry to have been done at a very high temperature, over 1,000 degrees Celsius, which degraded a lot of the elements of the fuel cell over time. And so scandium is an additive that helps bring down the temperature at which the fuel cell can operate, which extends the life cycle of the fuel cell. So fuel cells, again, have been around for quite a long time. However, this scandium, change has really allowed it to become much more efficient and much more sustainable. I also did take a look at the primary literature from Bloom Energy to see what they have to say. And it looks like, they do mention it in some of their literature, specifically with their goals to diversify their supply chain outside of China and to include Japan and the Philippines and a few other places. But I think that there's even been more developments since then. So, in order to understand how Bloom Energy is going to grow, we need to know how much scandium they're going to need. So currently, for every 1 gigawatt of energy created by Bloom boxes, approximately 150 tons of scandium are needed. So essentially, if we want to see the 32 billion market cap of Bloombox is, with a current run rate of around 1 to 2 gigawatts of energy. So if we want to see 3, 5, 10x, they're going to need 3, 5, 10x amounts of scandium, which would, just to start with, would be around 1,500 tons of scandium. So I was doing some research about this the other day, and it looks like there's several new sources of scandium coming forward. So Rio Tinto in Quebec, which is mostly extracting it from titanium refining waste products. I guess the Philippines, Japan, they have it as a byproduct of nickel mining. And then there's two other United States-based potential sources of scandium, namely the Elk Creek mine, which is sort of a new thing, as well as USA Rare Earth, which if you saw in the news yesterday and today, the US government has taken a 10% into this refining center. One thing is very true. There is a huge demand currently for Bloom technology. There's absolutely a shortage of scandium in the world. However, it is relatively abundant in the crust, and it evidently is more abundant than lead and tin. It's just hard to resource and hard to collect. So with that being said, I wouldn't be surprised if in the next few months we start to hear increasing amounts of partnerships with Bloom Energy, potentially with the likes of NVIDIA or Microsoft or even the US government, because it is seriously critical for us to have electricity now. As I talked about in the previous video, using natural gas turbines with power plants on the grid or even off the grid have a lot of drawbacks and problems. Modular nuclear reactors are a long time away, and I don't think people are going to want to have small nuclear reactors in their communities. So I think there's a realistic strategy to acquire enough scandium for Bloom to grow in the next 3 to 10 years, but it is going to take a lot of effort, and there are a lot of ifs along the way. So this is a very high risk, high reward stock to invest in. Again, I'm just an amateur having fun with this, so take everything I say with a grain of salt, but there is a clear plan that Bloom has in place. And again, I wouldn't be surprised if in the next few weeks or months you start to see some major companies to help increase production for Bloom and possibly even a government stake in the company.